But this story happened many years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. I've been going to the marketplace. There's a marketplace in Tel Aviv, a really big, busy marketplace, and putting on tefillin on people. And now the atmosphere is almost totally changed. It's not, not like it was before. But there used to be people that were very, very outspokenly against any sort of, religious ideas and putting on tefillin us for sure. Okay, so I'm standing there and I'm asking people if they want to put on tefillin. And so there comes driving up to me a fellow on a mountain bike. A mountain bike. Where's a mountains over there? But anyway, there's a mountain bike. It has 32 gears on it, and a fellow comes up. The guy looks like maybe a professor or something like that. He's sort of well built. It's in the summer. He's got short pants on. He's sort of a stocky guy. Is balding, but his hair is pulled back into like a little what is it called? A little ponytail in the back. And I say to him, "Would you like to put on tefillin?" And he starts yelling at me. He's got a little tattoo, over here or whatever. And he starts yelling at me and screaming at me, you fools, you ignorant, you're back in the dark ages, and who would want to put on tefillin? And get out of here with that stuff. It's a black magic, and it's idolatry, and it's whatever, anything you can think about. And you people are a bunch of lazy bums, and you're just bloodsuckers, and you're parasites and vermin, and that's just terrible things he was saying. So I didn't know how to get rid of this guy. So I thought to myself, and he was really on a run. He was really just excited. And he said, and not only that, you're making everybody miserable. You're standing here in the street and you're throwing this guilt trip on everybody. A guilt trip that if they don't put on tefillin, you should be guilty and that they're going to burn. So I said, well, making people feel miserable. I didn't notice that. I didn't. He said, of course you are. So I said, listen. I said, maybe you're right. I said, it could be that you're right. The fact is, I never really noticed people's faces, and you're the first person that yelled at me, like this. But maybe you're right. I'll tell you what. You stand here right behind me, and I'll ask people to put on tefillin. And the first person that has like a bitter face or looks bad, I'll stop and I'll listen to what you have to say. Well, but right now I want to ask people to put on tefillin, but you could be right. Maybe I'm making maybe I'm making a big mistake. And mainly I wanted to get rid of the guy. That's what I really wanted. And I figured maybe he wouldn't have the patience and he would just leave. But no, so he stood there and he was studying. And the fact of the matter is I really did not notice if really I'm having a positive effect or negative. I never really paid attention to it. So one guy goes by, and I say, he's walking, excuse me, would you like to put on tefillin? He says, no, with a smile. What about you? Would you like to put on tefillin? Would you like to put on tefillin? And he says, no, no of that. And no one's miserable. They're all all of a sudden it comes driving up on a mountain bike. Another guy, this almost like the first guy, and he's got also a ponytail, and he's a stocky sort of a fellow, and he came off his motorbike, this, and he comes to me. And I thought to myself, wow, now I got two of them. What am I going to do? So what do I have to say? What do I know? How do you say protect myself from this? So I said, would you like to put on tefillin? And the guy said, tefillin? Sure, of course I want to. And he put on. I looked back at the guy that was behind me, and he jumped on his bike and he took off. I just saw it. So from this, I realized and I understood that people enjoy just being asked if they want to put on tefillin, if you ask them in a proper way. Because that's sort of a short story, so I'll tell you another story, which is relevant to the same thing. I was in the same place. Maybe this is after we moved. Could be we moved to another place. It was in the big marketplace. But I think then anyway. So I'm standing there and I'm asking people if they want to put on tefillin. Now it's not a summer day. It's sort of getting in the wintry sort of days. So I asked people, would you like to put on tefillin? Tefillin. Some guy passes by me, and I say to him, Bo Yehudi bo tenech tefillin. Jew, put on tefillin. So he stops and he looks at me. And suddenly I look at him, and this guy, he's wearing like this black leather pants and sort of jacket, and he's really muscular sort of a guy, and he's got this little sort of wicked mustache, little sort of line mustache. He's looking at me like this, with, his eyes become like this. He's looking at me like that. I thought, whoa, what's going to be now? I must have, did something to this fellow. So I figured, well, I sort of took like a half a step back. I figured the guy's Jewish. If he's not Jewish, I don't think I would have taken a step back, because that's not dangerous. But anyway, so I figured, this just encourages people. But I looked at the guy, so I sort of like moved back, and he looked at me, and he gave me this look like that, and he walked on. And he gave me a look like, if there's an extra bullet left in my gun, I'm on my way to kill somebody. But if there's an extra bullet, it's for you. That was like the look in his face. That's how I interpreted it. Anyway, so he left. He left, looked at me like that, and he left. And I thought, whoa, that was really strange. That was really weird. That was really weird. So he left. So I'm asking people, all of a sudden the guy came back. It was maybe like 5 minutes later, he came back. I thought, okay, what's going to be now? So he said, what did you say to me? Ma martali, ekratali. So I remembered that, I said to him, Jew, put on tefillin. Bo Yehudi tenech tefillin. I remembered that that's what I said to him. So I said, Amarti lecha, bo Yehudi, bo tenech tefillin, Yehudi. Jew, come and put on tefillin. He said, that's what you said to me? I said, yeah. He said, that's what I thought you said to me. He said, listen. He said, haraktoti. He said, you knocked me out. He says, you killed me. You haraktoti. All of a sudden I saw there was like tears in his eyes. He said, Seder, I'll put on tefillin. I'll put on tefillin. He rolled up his sleeve. He had to do all these buttons. He rolled up his sleeve and he put on tefillin. I called him a Jew. That was like the last thing he thought anybody would ever call him, right? He was, who knows, anything else except for calling him a Jew. Anything else. You call him Zorro or Rambo or something like that, whatever you wanted to call him. But a Jew, he thought he didn't look like a Jew. He had no connection to a Jew. He wasn't thinking like a Jew, acting like a Jew, but he was a Jew. And as soon as I said, Bo, come Jew, put on tefillin, it just like shook him. It's like, I'm a Jew. He came and he put on, it was amazing. He put on tefillin. I mean, I put on tefillin on a lot of people, but something like that. He said, haragtoti. He said, you killed me. You killed me. That's a way of saying it. So you knocked me out. Haragtoti. And he put on tefillin. So it just, both of the stories have basically the same point. The external of a Jew is not the internal of a Jew. And our job is to make it that the internal does become the external, to turn everything inside out, to reveal the inside and everywhere. And then we'll reveal the world, in fact, is a good place. God said it in the 6 days of creation at the end. Tov me'od. The world is very good. We just have to bring the inside out. That's what Chassidut wants to do, and that's what we're going to do with Mashiach now. See you all tomorrow, God willing, 8:15. Thank you for coming.